9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
What's up, good people? It is the mayor here in mayor attire, apparently. I'm sorry we're a little bit late, but we got a lot of stuff to discuss. There's a lot going on in the wrestling world today, of course. We have some news regarding Saraya. We have the big news shocking the TNA wrestling world as well. And, of course, we got AEW coming on this evening with AEW Dynamite. And thank God I'm not alone today. I'm joined by our PR princess herself, Miss Courtney Rice. Happy Wednesday, Courtney.
Oh, you are not going to be alone on a Wednesday. It's a lot happening, and it's not even Friday. So much happened in the last 48 hours.
That part. And of course, it wouldn't be, I'm dressed all political, and it wouldn't be a true political show without our councilman. Councilman, how you doing today?
I'm good. Your councilman was in these streets, but I could not leave y'all hanging. I saw it was like, yo, is anyone else coming on? I was like, you know what? Let me rustle up the grub, get my ass back to the house, and be a part of Wednesday's WWT Live, man. How about yourselves? How y'all doing?
Yeah, pretty good.
Day. Can't complain. You know what? I wish I could say we had a plan for this. Sounds like everybody's just kind of falling into here. So I'm gonna take things off the rails here. We're gonna go off script. Thoughts on NXT last night, guys? A lot of stuff happened in NXT. Looks like Stan Deliver's picture is getting a little bit more clearer.
I got something I gotta say.
You are the councilman of NXT. So
I am Mr. NXT indeed. And I'm gonna say it. Shawn Michaels. An apology needs to be instituted to the mayor because I don't understand what's happening right now. What are we doing? What are we doing with Miss Lola Vice? Somebody has to walk me through it because we had history made last night. I'm not going to jump too far ahead, but first match up was the NXT Women's Championship against Jada Parker. Jada Parker put on an excellent showcase against, a veteran like Stephanie McCurry, just showing why she will be a staple in WWE for the years to come. But it was ruined by Jordynne Grace and a distraction, which allowed Stephanie to retain her title. And all I could help but wonder was, why was that not Lola Vice doing that? Why was it Jordynne Grace coming in to interrupt the match? Why? Because you got bulldozed and she got her shot first. We know you're going to get a shot at the title. But you have Lola Vice, who was back there, by the way, who was in the backstage segment with all the women sitting there. And the last time I checked, didn't she win a battle royal and should be the #1 contender for the NXT women's title? Sean, you are getting very close to me calling you Mr. Hickenbottom because you are mistreating the mayor's client right now, and it is becoming very evident, and I don't like it.
I'm glad you brought that up. And Women's History Month, no less, Councilman. I am not far from calling you Mr. Hickenbottom. Mr. Hickenbottom, and I want you to hear me clearly. This is not a threat. People might call you Chef Michaels. You might cook a lot of stuff, but damn it, the stew is spoiled. And I'm getting sick of it. Now, I didn't want to have to pull out the big, heavy guns, but I got the footage of what you did with that little girl's toys in the 90s. We didn't wrap up R. Kelly. We didn't wrap up Diddy. Damn it, you can be next. Get it right, sir. Those are underage women, underage girls. I am not afraid to pull these files on you if you keep disrespecting my clients.
It's pure disrespect.
What was your thoughts on NXT?
My thoughts?
Yes.
Oh, so I actually did watch it earlier today. I was very shocked at Lola Vice. And from what you told me, I did not know she won a battle royal for a shot, because I would have been like, oh, that would have made a lot more sense. And then we saw Javon Evans. I don't know what it is, because it's like Trick is so upset with the NXT championship, and then you have Javon trying to take out like whatever these guys are doing with NXT, and then Obafemi. So it started to look good, but I need to just talk about my guy. Well, he may be Ricky Saints, but I call him Ricky Stark still. And he is already getting well, I don't want to jump the gun, but he came out during Ethan Page's entrance. And he just came in and just sat at the announce table like it was nothing. And now he was face to face with Shawn Spears. And next week, he gets his first shot at the North American Championship against Shawn Spears. What?
By the way, Shawn Spears had a great interview.
Yes, I see y'all filling up the chat. Jeffrey, Fernando, Special on Nobody's, Dylan, what's up, everybody? I actually like this thought here that Trick has to be behind Dark State. And you know what? Yep. They need that. I think they need that because I'm not feeling the promos.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling them.
I'm not either. But I think if you have Trick, like all of the lights come out and they run down and Trick out there and Oba, and they finna attack Trick and Trick just do this, and all of them get in line, it's like, yo, now we cooking with something. Because he wearing black just like them. And I'm like, we was talking about it on the watch along. I was like, I think Trick is the leader of Dark State.
And that'd be a great segue for him because 3-time NXT champ don't need to happen.
And not at all.
He can't be the first one of those at all. But if he has a heel faction NXT for a little bit longer as the face, I can see that. Because right now, these Dark State promos, I'm not going to give you Shield. I'm not going to give Nexus or New Nexus. It's feeling very core-ish.
Mm-hmm.
It's flat.
Yeah.
And not everybody, but like when they be cutting the camera, I'll be like, oh man, I don't even feel like you believe in yourself.
Yeah. Now you know what was flatter than that? That match between Ethan Page and Andre Chase. That last night. At all. I'm so sick of seeing Andre Chase. Like, yo, bro, wrong dude got fired. I'ma just say that. Wrong dude got fired. I'm like, yo, you could have kept Baron Corbin if this what you was gonna run with. Like, I do not like this guy at all. Or his new little days he's got. I'm like, yo, bro, get them out of here. Get them the F out of here.
I mean, you're running through the bum ass Corbin angle again.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much what it is.
That's it. Tag teams were really good though.
The tags, Hank and Tank,
Tyreek and Tyrone. They need a real name though. Them two need a real name.
Yeah.
And wardrobe. I need them to get like, you're gonna be a legit tag team. I need y'all to get a real one. Tyson and Tyreek. I need y'all to get something. And stop wearing overalls. You're not Crime Time. Let's get some real wrestling gear. But I was very surprised that the Meta Girls versus Tatum and Gigi. Was not expecting Gigi and Tatum to pick up the win. But it's a good thing that they did, especially going into TNA, to take on that other girl in Ash by Elegance. I always forget the name. But it was good. I give it like a solid like 7.5. Like something that we used to talk about, Mayor, like having that off and on. I think this was kind of the first time in like since January we haven't had a card that was like could have went on a PLE. It was like, oh, you know what? This is kind of a regular episode of NXT. But the double championship is what really carried the entire night.
Yeah, it did. Great work by Stephanie. I mean, seems like Jordan Grace might be next, but it seems like Ava also has her hands full of figuring out who's going to get the next shot because Stephanie holds both titles. So I expect some type of a gauntlet or elimination type match where we crown whoever's the next number one contender, which can also be very good TV because it's a deep division.
Yeah, we got 3 weeks until Stand and Deliver. But I'm going to be honest, though. I'm not yet excited about the Stand and Deliver card. And I wanted to ask y'all about that. Do you think NXT, I'm going to say this very, very wrong, and apologies because I don't know the way to say it. Did they shoot their load too quickly?
Oh, no, that's the proper way of saying that. I understand that very well.
Yeah, you know, just again, I don't know who be watching this and stuff, but have they overshot their load? Because I can feel like we're gonna get a triple threat match with Javon, Trick, and Oba for the title.
Mhm.
But for me, it's like Oba versus Moose was gonna be way better than that triple threat match, and we had it already. So it's like, how are you gonna like? So that's the question, y'all. Like, what match would you need to see on Stand and Deliver for it to stand and deliver during WrestleMania weekend?
Usually somebody comes down. And I don't think we've seen that yet. Usually somebody comes down to work the show. I can't think of last year's. But I know the year before Johnny Gargano came down and took on Grayson Waller. We usually see things like that. Some type of NXT lore legend comes down and competes on the card just to give it an extra little bump. But I think we could see something like that. I mean, having the women's division be so strong definitely helps. While that triple threat match isn't as sexy as the Moose Oba match, I think if it's really lingering that Trick is the leader of Dark State and they pull the trigger on that, I think that instantly builds credibility, especially if you have Dark State help Trick win. And let's say Oba doesn't get pinned in that instance, but he pins Javon to become a 3-time champion. I think that adds a little bit. I think where it's more tricky is, do you really want Stephanie defending both titles on the program? How much Stephanie McCord do you need on Stand and Deliver? I think that's where it gets tricky, where you might have to have some TNA influence on the card, or even I know we've had maybe a number one contendership ladder match where they got to pull out a little Money in the Bank contract type of thing for one of Stephanie's titles just to feature some of the other women.
Or even Liv and Raquel defending the tag team titles at Stand and Deliver.
Oh yeah, that could be gold.
Yeah,
maybe a 4-way tag team match.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm not to say I'm not excited about Stand and Deliver, but it's like the way they're shaping it up. It's kind of like, y'all been giving us fire since January.
It's gonna feel like a breakfast card.
Yeah. That's what it's feeling like right now. And I don't know if they'll be able to capitalize, but they got 3 weeks to try to shop us of what they're gonna be giving us.
I mean, you started the year off with the final boss coming to NXT. We gotta have something big.
Yeah. Not to mention that tremendous 63-day reign of your NXT Women's Champion. Like, let's not forget, like, we come to the cusp of that great title reign. So
boy.
Don't give us an underwhelming card after that. Also, too, though, Mary, you clocked it right. I saw a picture of Julia with Asuka and Kairi Sane.
I did too.
I think that too. NXT. I think they are gonna come back with her, and she's gonna go heel. I think it is gonna happen. Now that would spice up the card a lot.
Right. might be more natural for her too. Than trying to be the person that carries company on or the division on her back, babyface. But like you said, a strong 63 title a day reign. All good things must come to an end. And speaking of that, we learned about the end of Saraya's tenure in AEW. Amicable, by the way. She spoke about it on Busted Open, and actually a couple big news pieces for Saraya today. I mean, we know her book is coming out, or it's out already. We know she's dropping a new podcast to debut tomorrow. So she spoke about her time in AEW and then spoke about what's in her near sights, which she has a lot of things on her plate. She has a movie role coming up. But she did talk about her time in AEW being something that she thinks fondly of, that she never wanted to be at the top of the card or lead a division, but she got to work with so many great young ladies in the women's division. She said her wrestling chapter is not done, but she has had a lot of things that she wanted to do in her career right now to kind of take a break from wrestling, including the fact that she kind of let her contract, I guess, expire. And she said she knew she wasn't going to renew dating back to September. So this has been a thing that she's known for a while, and they've kind of kept it under wraps. But let's sum it up with this. What do you guys think of, I guess, Saraya's AEW tenure? Do you think there's more she could have done? I know she did say there was a couple of things she wanted to do, but maybe the pitch got shot down. And what do you guys think is next for her?
PR princess, this your realm, so.
Oh man, it's hard because I'm not surprised by it because her deal ended later in September, but it was very underwhelming in her run in AEW. I actually did not think she was going to wrestle again after that horrific injury when she came back. But I was very a little bit disappointed because there was one match I would have liked to see on AEW. I would have loved to see her versus Mercedes at some point since they would have been back together. Oh my
You go to timeout, Dylan.
Oh my god.
You're in timeout.
Oh. Well, anyways, going back to that, I would have loved to see her versus Mercedes when she came in last year because I just felt like there was something there that they could have done. Also, of course, she did help out with some of the women. Of course, she teamed up with Toni Storm. She's helped out Harley Cameron when they teamed up together. Harley does have a lot of positive remarks to say about her when she first started out wrestling. So it is very disappointing, but this is just a lesson that AEW needs to learn the hard way. You've been there for 6 years, and this is going to be one of the hard lessons. And also, I do wish Saraya the best. I know she's going to do well. And also with her book coming out, her podcast, and just everything that she's done. So we shall see, because I don't think she's done on the wrestling side yet. And I wouldn't be surprised if she did a lot of backstage work in whatever wrestling she chooses. If she wants to go back to WWE, if she wants to do independent, if she wants to go back to her home country, that's her decision.
Councilman, do you look fondly back on this run for Saraya, or could AEW have done more with her in the division? I know there were times where she possibly wasn't cleared. She got the big moment in Wembley. A lot of people are mentioning Mercedes being a missed opportunity. She seems like she's very happy with her time in AEW, but how will it be remembered exactly?
You know them days where you had like a bad case of the boo-boos and you was just like, damn, I don't think I'm gonna make it through this. And you think about it for a couple of months and then you move on with your life. That was her career at AEW. And again, it's not her fault. It's not her fault. Because we know Tony Khan doesn't like women's wrestling. But I think her being able to just outside of that part, I think what she was going through at the time of her life while she was there, I think that's what was the good thing about her being there. Because let's really think about it, like her under the impression she's not gonna wrestle again. Like that's it, it's over. And to find out that she can actually come back and wrestle. Mm-hmm. But then not only that, she gets to kind of take her time. She's not on like a heavy program of like these things, these sales. She gets also be kind of a locker room leader and then put folks over like Ruby Soho, like Courtney said, Toni Storm or Harley Cameron and everything. But I just think it was a missed opportunity because you just don't have a real focus on the women's division. And to Courtney's point, like Saraya versus Mercedes, like we got to remember, like Mercedes is the one that technically took her and put her on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
You could have sold that in so many ways. You just kind of left that in the wind. And it's just like, it's just another example of like, I don't know what AEW is like, what their overall goal is, but it's like, I remember when WCW was out and you were scared that people were going to go over to the next brand and leave WWE. Now you just more anticipating, okay, when is WWE going to scoop up this next one that they're not paying attention to? Like you done lost Ricky Saints, you done lost Aleister Black, you've lost Miro. Now Saraya's not signing. And it's just like, okay, it's not looking good. This like you want one or two, sure. Over 8, that's tough. You lost the dude that started it. You lost CM Punk. Mm-hmm. You lost Ricky Starks. No one knows what's going on with Keith Lee. You lost Aleister Black. You done lost Saraya. It's like,
and
all
also,
these are really big debuts when they happen too.
Yeah. And I also want to throw in there Mariah May. Her contract is up this summer.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
the reports came out that she might be in a contract year.
Mhm. Yeah, because
So we don't know.
Said August too. So
Yeah.
Which is weird because how could she be? I know they're notorious for actually putting people on lengthy contracts there, and I know she was a very big free agent. So how would I feel like we just talked about Mariah jumping from New Japan and stuff last year? So would she only have like a year contract? How is that possible?
she technically wasn't signed like that. It was like a temporary. It was like a free. It was kind of like a free, a freelance type of thing. So it was just like she's here, but she's allowed to compete at other places. And then when she became women's champion, that's when they kind of locked her into like the exclusivity. But it was still just sitting under the freelance contract. And so that's now coming to an end. And so now it's like, okay, do you lock her in for a lengthy one or does she jump ship?
That'd be interesting. I mean, we know the impact jumping ship has kind of had on a lot of other careers as far as just the building the star power around the athlete. Now, I might be wrong for doing this, but I'm just going to do it. Saraya is 32 years of age. She has a lot of outside projects right now. She said her time in wrestling isn't done, so she might still have some chapters that she wants to write. Where would you want to see her land right now where she can help in women's division?
Come on. Come on. I talked about this on another one. You are the godmother of the women's division in WWE. I know we talk about AJ Lee. I know we talk about the 4 horsewomen. This was the woman that sparked everything. She was the anti-diva. She destroyed an entire division and rebuilt it back up.
And she put all the horsewomen on. That was the time where they had them 3 factions.
Exactly. Yep. You would not have Mercedes Moné without Saraya. You would not have Charlotte Flair without Saraya. You would not have Bayley. You would not have Becky Lynch. You would not have them being called WWE superstars had it not been for what Saraya did. You need to go back and get your flowers from all of these people. And you need to be able to be written in WWE history as the WWE Women's Champion or World Champion. You deserve that. You have earned that. Go and reap the benefits of everything you've done. And I think WWE will welcome her back with open arms.
I agree.
So story there.
Yeah.
You think she ends up in WWE, Courtney?
I don't see why not. And also, you have to remember during that time, she was Divas champion. She wasn't a women's champion. She didn't get the titles that you have now. So it would be a really great opportunity for her. And especially, as Councilman pointed out, she helped build NXT from the ground up. She was the anti-diva. She paved the way for many women. And even some of the women this generation now, younger than like in their early 20s and 25, next to AJ Lee, some people do look at Saraya as being an influence than starting in wrestling.
Sure, there's some lengthy testing she'd had to go through as far as being medically cleared, but I would say if she was to participate in WWE, I know there is an event that is internally penciled, and that's the second Evolution PLE. I think it would be great for her to be an ambassador or a host for that event, just to kind of ease her back into the WWE brand, especially when you have people like Nikki Bella back in the fold, and we know she's going to be doing a run soon. I think that would be a great way to reintroduce her to the WWE audience. So hopefully we do see her land back in a wrestling promotion soon on top of her other projects, but you can check out her new podcast tomorrow that is being billed as kind of a tell-all and getting into all the different details about her departure and everything she has going on. And there is also a interview we have from her time with the Queen of the Ring Red Carpet that is actually up on YouTube and Instagram that you guys can check out. In other women's wrestling news, this one was a big shocker. Gail Kim let go by TNA Pro Wrestling, which wasn't received really well at all by the internet wrestling community and even from those in the TNA banner. What did you guys think about what you heard this news? I have seen that she doesn't have a compete clause in her release that she can imminently sign anywhere she wants to go. What does this mean for TNA, and why do you think it happened?
What was she doing currently though in TNA? Was she still wrestling?
No, she was kind of like in the business side of things.
Mm,
On personnel, like doing the not the booking, but like the creative side.
okay. So was she was let go, not she resigned.
No, she was basically fired. Yeah, head of talent relations, producing the Knockouts division, which a lot of people think that division is very strong. There was nothing wrong with her work in that role.
That's a tough one, man. That's a staple of TNA. Like you don't think about TNA and without Gail Kim. Oof. Oof. That's a tough one. I'm just curious as to what do you do now? Like that's odd. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Yeah, that's an odd choice. And has Gail Kim said anything?
No, she has not. I don't believe she's made a public statement yet, but I believe it is odd when you're talking about somebody who's working in the producing capacity of the Knockouts division and you build partnerships like this NXT stuff. But there was an announcement from TNA's Anthem Sports Group President Carlos Silva regarding the cuts. He says, "Today we announced a restructuring resulting in staffing changes at TNA Wrestling. These decisions are always difficult, but it became apparent that we need to make adjustments to our business strategies. We are grateful for those who worked here and thank them for their years of dedication to the company. Finally, we want our fans to know that we are committed to producing the absolute best product and highest quality content that we can, and we appreciate their continued support." So that was their immediate response in lieu of the backlash. But a lot of people are still questioning, like, why was Gail Kim a part of this?
Has anyone else been let go?
Karen Clevitt, Sebastian Destrange, Romy Glazier, Raphael Morphy have all been released as well.
Oh, okay, so it's
on the production side of things.
Okay, so it kind of sounds like one of them things of, like how WWE does when there's when that purge is coming up, and it's very coincidental that it's coming up during WrestleMania weekend, which is the biggest weekend for all wrestling right now, with them coming with what is it, Unbreakable is the PLE, or what's it called? The one they have on WrestleMania, is it Unbreakable? Is that the name of the PLE?
I'm actually not sure what the PLE is called.
Okay, I can't remember.
One WrestleMania week.
Yeah. But it seems like, they just maybe want to go into a new direction, and maybe something.
It is Unbreakable during WrestleMania week.
Gotcha. Yeah, it may be just like, hey, trying to get new, fresher talent in. What I'm also curious of, though, is how much does TKO play a part in this? And I'm very curious as to see who gets hired in replacement of all of those.
Yeah, just taking a look at the comments first. Scott D'Amore, now Gail Kim. This one is odd. Barboza. If I'm WWE, I'm calling her ASAP and putting her in charge of the women's division on Raw and SmackDown. A lot of people feeling like she should land in WWE. So you make a very interesting point, Councilman. The fact that if it was like a nudging of like, hey, like release this person so we can hire them under the TKO banner, I can totally see that. We've seen a little bit of that. Whether you feel like it's related or not, it's happening. It's definitely happening. Yeah. So, but let's throw a curveball, Courtney. In lieu of this, do you feel like Gail Kim even wants to be inside of the wrestling world anymore?
I do believe she wants to be in the wrestling world. And I know a lot of people have been running around with WWE and everything else. People tend to forget that she did not have a good relationship with WWE in the previous regime. Not sure what it is now, but in the previous regime, it wasn't that great. And also, there was a tweet that actually Sean Ross Sapp put on Fightful. And I thought this was very interesting, and I wanted to bring it to your attention regarding Gail's firing. firing Gail Kim is one of the most baffling decisions I've seen a wrestling company make from a personnel standpoint. She's one of the most respected people in wrestling and an instant in to have a conversation with almost any talent you want because of the respect she carries. Pro wrestling is desperately lacking female leadership and influence in creative, talent relations, booking, agency roles. And that was really interesting because outside of Stephanie, I can't even recall much on the women's side taking a lot of personnel. I mean, some have, but some weren't successful. So I'm just very curious. I just wanted to bring it you guys' attention because that was very curious and reading that because there's not that many well-known, to my understanding, not that many well-known female leadership on the business side of pro wrestling.
Not that's like well known, or they're not like leaders of it, but they, like they be them right hand women that's really the ones doing all the work, making the decision, but that person above them is getting the credit. But again, too, like we're in a new era. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a new era for TNA. This is a new era for wrestling. Like again, it's just odd, and I don't know until we know like what's the reasoning of why they were if she was let go. That we can say anything, but also too just look at it kind of as like that opportunity. And I know Dylan had said it earlier, but I think having a mind like that going to AEW women's division would be something incredible.
Yeah.
Tony,
I think looking at the positive of it is that this is a very hot free agent right now.
And Tony needs somebody that understands the women's division.
They all do.
With all due respect, like you don't have anybody in that leadership persona.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see. But yeah, it is odd, but change happens.
Yeah.
And we don't know from her perspective of what was going on. Was she, as much as we do have respect for Gail Kim, remember Gail Kim is human. So was Gail Kim sitting in old times when it came to the TNA Knockouts division? Were there some things going on in the back we may not know about? Could be.
It's true. I'm sure more details will come out, but I expect this to be a short stint on the free agent market, if anything. And I know her relationship with this regime has probably been a lot better. I think I did see her front row in Battleground last year for NXT, especially during the Jordan Grace Roxanne Perez match. So more details are beginning to come out. From one release to essentially a signing, Mina Shirakawa is expected to leave Stardom at the end of the month, and it is expected that she is imminently going to AEW. Courtney, what are your thoughts about this, and where does Mina fit in with the rest of the women's division right now?
I'm not surprised by it because the many times that she came in back and forth, it was just a matter of time on when it was going to happen. But I'm very curious on where they're going to put her. Because we already have some storylines in the women's division. Of course, we have Toni Storm doing Megan Bayne. Megan Bayne's taking out pretty much almost every single top tier women in that division. Mercedes is possibly going to go one-on-one with Athena. So it's really kind of figuring out where she can fit in. I would not be shocked if she went round 2 with Tony because they did meet last year at Forbidden Door. So that's another opportunity as well. Also, it'll possibly maybe reignite the feud with Mariah May because that'll give Mariah something to do that doesn't involve the AEW women's title. But I'm happy to see Mina Shirakawa back in the ring. And she does have the charisma. She has the presence. She does bring a lot of charisma. So it's only time will tell. But welcome back, Mina. The fans say we want Mina.
Councilman, where does Mina Shirakawa fit in the AEW landscape? We know she's been on television, most notably during the Mariah May championship reign, but now she'll be there full time. Where would you place her at?
Somewhere. Tony Khan don't like women's wrestling, so do it matter where she get fit in at? They'll give about 3 matches, and then she'll disappear like the rest of them and go to Collision. And then before we know it, in 2 years, Mina Shirokana is not re-signing with AEW. So I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm not anticipating nobody signing to AEW at this point right now. Like, and especially when it comes to women wrestlers, like she's dope. I like what they kind of set up with her and Mariah, and then we watched how that went down the tank. So I don't know because you'll have folks that are really great and you don't place them right. You got people that's really bad and you don't place them right. So I don't know. But congratulations on having a contract, getting paid. But what the future holds for Mina, especially at AEW, or for him, any women's wrestler is up in the air for me.
She was pretty popular during her time. There were a lot of "We Want Mina" chants, so maybe there's the initial landing will be fine. It's just a matter of like how they book her going forward. I don't know. We can talk about that Ric Flair story if y'all want, but I want to knock this one out real quick. Speaking of getting booked, Jey Uso actually mentioned some people he would like to join him at WrestleMania this week during his entrance. And he mentioned 2 names, Cardi B and Sexy Red. And this is a direct quote. He said, "Hey, Sexy Red, I see you be yeeting down NXT. You know you can come up here and yeet with me too." This prompted Cardi B to quote tweet one of those posts, earmarking Jay's comments and saying, "Hey, I got you. I'll be there." There's no easy way to say this, but what do you guys think of Sexy Red possibly being a part of Jey Uso's entrance? Do you feel like we will see her in Vegas for WrestleMania weekend? Whoever wants to take this first. I just wish the professor was here for this, but
this is why you're gonna lose, dog. This is why you're gonna lose. This is why Gunther gonna walk out with that title belt. Because of dumb bullshit like this, bro. Like, dog, you worry about the wrong thing right now. You are worried about the wrong thing. Let WWE announce that they'll be here. Like, bro, you worried about the wrong stuff. Hey, man, listen. I know you like the big booty girls. I know you messing with Jada Parker right now. I get it. You need to focus, bro. You need to focus up because right now you're not looking good, man. The main event, Jey Uso, as much as the fans love it, bro, your card could get pulled at WrestleMania. This is the biggest match of your life ever. You're going for a world title against Gunther. That dude is no slouch in the ring. I get it. Personality-wise, you are over. But you could lose it all if that man dog walks you at WrestleMania. And your biggest concern is having Sexy Red and Cardi B up there with you. We saw when Lil Wayne was up there. That didn't work. Stop worrying about who on stage with you and worry about this match. How about that? And can WWE just sever their ties with Sexy Red, please?
Celebrities in general, it's kind of getting overboard on Monday Night Raw every single week.
I get how we did it in the 80s and stuff like that. It was cool, but it ain't like how it was back in the 80s, man. I just like I know this is gonna sound wrong to some people. I don't want to see twerking at my WrestleMania. Okay. I don't need to see the ass claps at WrestleMania. That's not a part of my WrestleMania. WrestleMania After Dark.
Hey, that is not a story we were going to discuss. No. But that is actually an event that is announced for WrestleMania weekend. There will be 4 WrestleMania After Dark events that will feature some of your favorite superstars and popular DJs. We'll probably talk about that more on Friday, but that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. Now y'all can go there. Now I don't mind Sexy Cardi B there. But on our WrestleMania during the World Heavyweight Championship match, come on, bro. Come on. You already got Travis
Sorry,
Scott
I
over
take
here
this call.
blowing weed smoke in the kids' faces. Like, bro, like what? Like you, like what
Yes,
do you?
understood. That was Miss Parker. We're going to have those remarks earlier stricken from the record books. If imagine I'm Will Smith and I have a neuralizer right here, you heard nothing about her relational matters. So I'm going to strike that from the record book here.
Yeah, understood. But even if she did do it, you know what I mean?
Oh my
Oh, now I got to find that clip and put it in here. I got to find that
right?
clip and put it in here. Oh,
Oh
my
my
God.
god.
Oh
That's
man.
exactly how I feel about it. Courtney, Sexy Red, Cardi B, you expect her to show up. I mean, she says she's in. I mean, you expecting her to show up now?
Baby girls, just stay in the back. Stay in the back. And also, Jay, you got 3 weeks to prepare for Gunther. Gunther's no joke. We saw what happened last year with Lil Wayne. And also, Lil Wayne, that was just a really travesty at that point. But, and also, and no offense to Cardi, stay put till SummerSlam. Just stay put till August. Because you're already on the commercial for SummerSlam. And it's a possibility you may be involved. Don't know what thing you're going to be involved with, but save it for SummerSlam. But Jay, you got a match you got to look forward to. And also, we already learned that we don't need any more of that, especially with Kylie's baby daddy out there. We don't need him. Jay, just focus on your match. Focus on Gunther. You got 3 weeks to prepare.
When we do the celebrity thing and we talk about musicians, I just feel like WWE aims so low sometime for the amount of money they pull. Why are we not getting Beyonce's and Rihanna? And now I'm forced to feel like that All in Texas this year. You go get Meg. Go get Meg. You had the conversation with Mercedes. Pay whatever you can to get Meg there. And you know what? I'll watch all 24 hours of the PLE if you do that.
Yep.
All of them. Because you gotta checkmate this at some point. They're getting celebrities every week. Go ahead and checkmate that. Because I feel like we aim so low with WWE with some of the celebrity influence. Like you can, if WrestleMania is your Super Bowl of shows, we gotta aim high. Like you need to be trying to get Kendrick to appear on the show or something.
What's crazy
Use the finances.
Yeah, what's crazy is it's like when they were in Toronto,
Mm-hmm.
and what was crazy about it was, Drake was right behind Michael Cole, and they refused to acknowledge him. I'm like, I get what's going on with the song, but him and Kendrick are like the hottest thing in music right now. And y'all really like, it was like, hey, we got Lil Yachty here next to his friend. I'm like, his friend?
I think he declined. I think O'Shea said that. That they ask you if you want to be shown with like the lower thirds and you can accept or decline. And he declined, but he made every effort to be on camera despite that, which is weird on his part. But
it's like, pay that bag, WWE. You got it. Like, pay the bag. Had that happen, had that go down. It's like you see AEW doing the right. Like they had Bun B come out for like Swerve Strickland's entrance. You get Meg the Stallion, which is like, how do you not have Meg? And Meg does the theme song for SmackDown, but you keep bringing Sexy Red out here.
I'm saying I think I've seen, it was like years ago. Like use Dwayne's money. Dwayne had Rick Ross backstage in Miami doing a segment. Like you can do all types of stuff.
Oh, type of thing. You got plenty of people that don't want to be there. It's like, I just don't get like.
It's branding. All branding is positive, but like the sexy.
I
don't know how popular Sexy is in the community these days.
I don't know either.
But why you keep getting these not the sharpest knife in the drawer artists?
Yeah.
Like what y'all trying to tell? Are y'all trying to pull a Glasgow, Scotland on us? Is that what y'all doing? Don't make me call you out, Hunter. Don't make me call you out.
Like they won't notice. Just sprinkle a little Trick Daddy in there. He won't notice.
Now listen, we get some Trick. Now you got the now you gonna get the party started. That means Godfather got to come back and we're gonna have a show on the hand. All right.
Oh my god.
And I need Jada Parker to have her whole train coming down as well, and she in the front leading with the cane and next. See that mind? This WrestleMania dark.
The vision. Speaking of visions, we know that the state of North Carolina is looking into creating its own potential wrestling Hall of Fame that has technically been named after Ric Flair. It's set to be around a 500K study that can take place that is earmarked to be titled "An Act to Remember Iconic Combatants Through Fostering Learning Awareness and Interest in Wrestling." Wrestling with an R, which spells out Ric Flair. Ric Flair has since responded and says, "I am honored and humbled that North Carolina Senate has introduced the Ric Flair Act for the creation of a Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame museum." And of course, it hit his signature woo on Twitter. And also some news came out that I know Ric Flair has been tweeting about the John Cena stuff, but he's technically still under the AEW banner or has some appearances there, stuff like that. But what do you guys think about the potential of the Hall of Fame named after Ric Flair? I think that's pretty cool. Obviously, an icon in wrestling. North Carolina's doing it.
I like it, man. Anything to submit the legacy of wrestling for years to come is always great with me. And I think being able to put a shine on these guys that put on so much for us, sacrifice so much for us to be entertained, continue to give them their flowers. And I think Ric Flair, whenever you mention him, whenever you see him getting that respect, it's like, yeah, like keep it going. I want my grandchildren to know who Ric Flair is. And he deserves, just along with all the other ones that paved the way. So shout out to North Carolina for doing that for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Rick has done a lot for the wrestling business. So it makes me really happy to see the state of North Carolina really honoring one of their own in the Nature Boy, and also really having a lasting legacy in pop culture. Because anytime that you would see it on the sports channels and anything related in media, people know exactly who Ric Flair is. Because all you have to do is do the trademark and they know who he is. So I'm very, very happy they are honoring Ric Flair, and very happy to see that it is carrying on, especially with some of the wrestlers who paved the way for the wrestlers of today.
Yo, you ever think Ric Flair found his real parents?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Especially after that crazy story about how he got adopted. Y'all know about that, right?
Vaguely.
There was a lady, a lady that would that went like around the world stealing children and like selling them for like $10,000 to other families. Like she would kidnap children. And she did this for like years. And so she did this, and then she sold them. She sold the baby to a couple in North Carolina. And you got Richard Flair.
Oh.
Ric Flair is one of those stolen children that was sold to his parents.
Wow.
And I just think about like that with all the
his step parents is complicit. they bought.
So yeah, I don't know if they purchased or what. They didn't confirm if they purchased the baby. But it was like she would go around to folks that like either couldn't have kids or were looking for it, and she'd sell them. But she would go pick these kids up from hospitals and just like literally pick the motherfuckers up, walk off, and then go sell them. She was known for this for like years and got away with it for a long time. I don't even think she got arrested. She wound up like dying of like I think like cancer or something like that.
That's insane.
Yeah, but that produced the Nature Boy. It's like, no, you are one of the most iconic people in history. Like your whole life is insane.
That's nuts. Speaking of insane runs, Gable Steveson, we now know his next move. We know he's no longer with the WWE banner, was released to a lot of fanfare. He actually went back to school to try to chase another national championship in the sport of wrestling. If you follow wrestling, you know he came up short just this past weekend, suffering loss. I forget the name of the school and the gentleman that defeated him. and I don't know if that was his first or second loss. Somebody fact check me in the chat. But Gable Steveson said his next move is to join the ranks of MMA. In fact, he says he's actually being mentored by John Jones, who a lot of people think is the GOAT of mixed martial arts, saying that he hopes he can just get his hands certified and making sure that he can see punches and make sure he's comfortable in the cage and comfortable with the guys in front of him and getting in and out of the way. He said he hasn't spoken to Dana White yet personally, and that he would love to have a meeting face to face. He says he's been waiting a long time to meet him, and that he knew after the 2021 Olympics that Dana reached out to him in Vegas and talked about certain matters. So he just wanted to kind of pitch who he was and see who he can be, and thinks that he can be the next greatest thing in the sport. What do you guys think about this? I think there was a lot of resource by the WWE brand to kind of get behind Gable Steveson, and it just didn't work. But kind of under the same umbrella now with TKO, and he's trying to get his shot in MMA now. We know he's an amazing professional wrestler, amazing Olympian, and usually that transition works out well. But do you think it'll work out well for him? I think we've seen other crossovers not go so well in the past. Courtney, what are your thoughts?
I'm not too familiar with the MMA space, but there has been some people that have been successful. I'm very curious on how he's going to go. I know he's had meetings with Dana White here and there. UFC's under the TKO umbrella with WWE, so it's only a matter of time on when that's going to happen. I know you mentioned in the report he is training to get into that space, so I'm just curious on seeing his first match. So we shall see how he does in the MMA space, because
wrestlers usually translate very well, but I mean the difference is people are actually trying to fight you. So we'll have to see if his skills hold over. Hold on, I got to address this. Boza, let me tell you this. John Jones is an asshole. I'm not the biggest John Jones fan, but to call that man not the GOAT, you are bugging. There is not a fighter alive that can beat John Jones, and that's just
you talking about Bones? You talking about Bones Jones?
Yeah.
Stop that, sir. Bones, you're doing a lot.
Stop it. That man has never lost across decades. Like
that man broke his foot, broke his toe during a fight, and still came out swinging.
Wow.
Nah, bro, that dude is all time. I can't let you do that, Bosa.
Yeah. Councilman, thoughts on Gable and his next the next chapter of his career?
Man, as long as he continue to do something that make him happy. I know the stint in WWE didn't go as well, but it's just like, yo, man, he's talented. He's trying different things, man. That's all I can really ask for somebody to be able to keep doing. And hopefully he goes in there, does his thing, and he enjoys it. I just, find stuff that you enjoy, find stuff that you like to do, and then keep it pushing. So, and hopefully he doesn't let anything anybody says to him, feel like hate or challenges him to not want to pursue his dream. So as long as he's happy and healthy, man, by all means, bro, keep doing your thing, man. And best of luck to you in the MMA world. But Bones, you crazy for saying that stuff.
I mean, yeah, it didn't work out in WWE, but it's very possible that it could work out in MMA. And I mean, maybe we'll see him back in WWE. Who knows? Speaking of news that's random, I almost thought this was a video. It's not. CM Punk was on the Celtic Warrior workouts with Sheamus in the gym, and he dropped some news that was actually very interesting, I'll say. Sheamus asked him what he listening to and what he bumped that could be deemed as embarrassing, or maybe people would kind of look at him in a questionable stare. And he said he actually listens to Doechii and Chappelle Roan. Did you guys take CM Punk as a Doechii stan?
Oh, yeah. Well, no. Not that I take him as that. Do I think he has like a real variety in things that he likes to listen to? I can see Punk like that. I can see his playlist being very versatile in different things and be like, did I know you listen to this?
Courtney, what do you think about CM Punk's music choices, and are you a fan of either artist?
I'm not a big fan, but I am aware of both of them. And plus, like, not a shock because CM Punk, he is a guy that definitely likes music.
Oh, honey corrected me. It is Chapel Roan. My apologies.
Chapel Roan.
I daved her and called
All
her.
right, Sonny does it.
My bad.
Pardon me.
She's like, excuse the Queen Bee spoken. She has spoken. But I mean, it's really nice because like he's a guy that does like all types of music. Like he has no shame in it. I mean, we know his theme song is by Living Color, which is a band that was from the late 80s. So he does have a really good taste in music. So hey, there's no shame. There is no shame in that. No shame at all. What kind of music you listen to? No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you heard if you saw my iPod, you'd see some questionable things in there. Oh, I didn't know that was going to be noisy. I'm sorry about that. Before we got a couple more stories I would like to get to, but I wanted to make sure we ran down what's happening on AEW Dynamite tonight. Tonight we got a slew of matches. Courtney, you want to take us away?
Yeah, so if you watched Collision this past weekend, we have a few matches that we get to escalate. Mark Briscoe taking on Konosuke Takeshita. We also do have Powerhouse Hobbs taking on Mark Davis because, as you know, members of the Don Callis family and Mark Briscoe, Rocky Romero, and Powerhouse Hobbs were all involved in that trios match over the weekend. So they're both going to be in respective battles within each other. We also have some ladies action, which this is a shocker for me because I very rarely ever see tag team matches on Dynamite. And this one actually makes sense. My client, the Timeless One, Toni Storm, the AEW Women's Champion, and Thunder Rosa, which they are reuniting again as Thunderstorm, taking on Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. We also have Kyle Fletcher taking on Brody King one-on-one. We also have the AEW International Champion Kenny Omega taking on Blake Christian. If you follow Ring of Honor, you know who Blake Christian is. So he has been making rounds in that. So very excited that he's going to be facing off against the new AEW International Champion. We're also going to hear from MJF where he gives his answer to MVP regarding his offer last week if he's going to join the Hurt Syndicate. We're also going to hear from Rated FTR in a sit-down interview with Tony Schiavone after what happened last week. And also we get to hear from Swerve Strickland where he calls out Jon Moxley after being attacked 2 weeks ago on AEW Collision. Of course, I will be handling the watch-along after this. And also, if you want to watch Dynamite, it'll be on TBS, but simulcast from Max as well. And I just want to get both of your thoughts. Is there a match tonight that actually sticks out and you just want to go watch Dynamite?
I'm actually, matches aside, I'm very intrigued about the MVP MJF offer. I know that was a moment, and I know both of these, it's kind of an odd pairing. Seeing these two share the screen together, and I'm kind of interested to see, like, could this be another logical step in MJF's trajectory to kind of get some more, get some more notoriety. The women's tag team match would be the match that I look forward to most watching. I do like the idea of Thunderstorm, and we know Megan Bayne is on a heat streak right now, but this is what I have my eye on right here. MJF possibly being a part of the syndicate.
Okay. Councilman, your thoughts? Anything that sticks out for you for Dynamite tonight?
I'm kind of in the same role with the mayor. I'm very interested in seeing like what MJF may bring, listening to Swerve Strickland and what Jon Moxley offer may be. I think those are. I'm very curious to see what can happen, especially with All In like approaching around the corner and stuff. Like, what could this lead to, and what possibilities MJF being in the syndicate would do? Like, that's crazy. And then, like, where does he fall in as far as being a part of the syndicate? Is he like, is he gonna sit second? Would he be the leader? Like,
Hmm.
very curious, very curious. A lot of questions. I'm very curious to see this segment.
Yeah. So of course, like Courtney said, we'll have the watch along in about. Oh, am I close? No, we're not quite 63. But right after we get off the air here, we'll have the watch along come up with you guys. Speaking of Swerve Strickland, who you'll see on Dynamite tonight, he was in the news recently, and there's a lot of swirling around some comments he made in an interview with Vlad TV, citing that black professional wrestlers were not marketed fairly in the WWE during his time. And he highlighted some certain things about his match at 205 Live, how he felt like he really impressed a crowd of 6,000, and they were kind of backstage trying to teach him arm drags for a crowd of 400 NXT, which drew some response from Booker T coming to the aid. And, Booker's been with the WWE for many, many moons. Booker says he's just trying to figure out what he's talking about. I'm black, and I'm just trying to figure out if something happened to him personally. Maybe he thought he should have been a bigger star in WWE. I hate that we're still talking about this race thing. I've been working for the company for a long time, and I know I've been treated fairly for 20 years. Swerve responded, well, that's not what happened when Vince said the N-word in front of you. That's not being treated fairly. And I'm pretty sure you guys all know what segment that is. Other things you saw in this interview, Swerve kind of detailing what happened when Hit Row was actually all released. They were called up as a faction, and one day they were getting TV time, and one day they're all gone. And Swerve kind of detailed how it was just him and Top Dollar for a minute because Ashanti Adonis had appendicitis, and that there was a travel plans that kind of got mixed up. And I guess he mentioned that Top Dollar questioned Vince about where B-Fab was the travel plan, saying that he felt he might have been aggressive in asking for Vince, and Vince actually said it was none of his business. You can go back and read the excerpts. Top Dollar has since responded to those comments, but I know things can be taken all different types of ways, so make sure you go listen to the full Vlad TV interview. But Swerve clearly making the rounds, even today, saying that you guys have 5 more years of me, and then he's deuces. So read into that what you may. But Courtney, have you seen some of these excerpts, and what are your thoughts on Swerve side of the thing and everything else he's saying?
I didn't read the whole interview. I just taught like little excerpts of it because pretty much he was telling his story on how he felt during his tenure in WWE. And of course, I just feel like we've had this ongoing conversation for a while regarding black wrestlers and is there a race card? And even people were questioning Triple H about that. Is there difficulty race issue within WWE? And even when we saw the photo of the big 3 at WrestleMania last year, and even when we saw it this year, where you had Jay, the big 3, actually 2 out of 3, and also Trick and Kaylani in that photo showing representation. So I don't want to say he's wrong because is some points in there. And of course, Booker had to jump in the defense. But yes, he was Champions King Booker. But if you remember from his rivalry with Triple H at WrestleMania 19, it was a little bit because people were calling Triple H a racist during that time when they had that rivalry together. And I did not know it because I was a child at that time. But since I got older and rewatched it, but there is a lot of things to say. I definitely really want to watch the entire interview of this, but there's always 2 sides to every story. We don't know the whole facts of it, but of course, this tends to be an ongoing thing, and yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Councilman, how do you feel about this entire topic? I mean, it's very telling. And this Swerve's #1 contender for AEW World Title. He does a Vlad TV interview. Vlad TV has not had good press in the past several months. It's very shocking that he chose this platform to do a tell-all. But what do you feel about his thoughts?
Well, first of all, Vlad is a culture vulture that literally has fed off of everybody from artists, musicians, actors, and everything. Like, I can talk about Vlad for a whole hour and why he is just problematic to everything. But controversy sells, as I know, was something I currently put out in my socials right now that has people upset. But I mean, it's true. I think the representation for people like us, it's a very hard road. And I think one thing that thought about when it came to this was something I thought about when Captain America came out. And the one thing that for some reason industries, I'm not going to just point at WWE, but for some reason, no one ever wants to make America the villain when it comes to these things. Like you really want to try to over and sugarcoat everything as to what has happened rather than just taking accountability for our history. We know what happened. We've talked about it. You've made money off of it when you want to make money off of it, but for some reason you don't stand behind it. And I think just because of the fact that you allow dollars to control everything. I think Jacob had a good point that he made, which is something to talk about, as the fact of thinking that Carmelo Hayes could not be the face of the company. And it's like, he has a valid point because y'all have not showed us nothing that makes that work. When you made Bobby Lashley champion, you sunk him. When you made Big E champion, you made him lose to Brock Lesnar for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Swerve Strickland had a great thing going on with Hit Row, and you decided to take it away because it started to move to where us as a people understood. And for some reason, you don't know how to navigate it, like how Richard Pryor did comedy. Richard Pryor easily allowed people who weren't of color to successfully go down what we go through in a 90-minute stand-up show for them to understand our side. And you don't have that here in wrestling. And even for folks that have, and so now you have to try to find your place. You have to find yourself. It's like, I even said this one time, I was like, I feel bad for wrestlers who are black that have to pretend to be black.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the crappy part. Like when you see Jada Parker, you're like, yo, that's Jada Parker. Or how Bianca Belair has to play this certain role rather than just being herself. And so it's like, when do we figure out, like, okay, what needs to happen, or who's gonna take that plunge and just go like, hey, we need to let people be them. And I mean, I just don't think it's just for folks that look like us. It's the same thing when it comes to the Latino community as well. It's like everybody got to be a luchador. Everybody has to do a hurricanrana. They were mad at what's that boy name? Santos Escobar when he took off the mask. And it's like, for what? We're all different varieties. We all come in different types of history. I like that he didn't go the luchador route. He took the mask off and decided to do his own thing. But until it's recognized and until they're able to say, like, hey, you know, let's start being able to really tell this story the right way, and let's be able to ask the real questions of, like, hey, are we doing this right, and are we giving out the proper perspective of what represents y'all, so we can start seeing more of us in the seats. And also, too, fuck you, Glasgow, for what you did. You know what you did. You know what you did.
That's actually the first time I ever heard of that media outlet. I've never heard of it.
Really?
I've never.
A lot of pop culture interviews and musicians, actors, and actresses use Vlad. But yeah, I mean, it is unfortunate, but I like what Special Inoue said. It's very possible two different people had two very different experiences. I just hope people don't pick and choose different parts of the interview to kind of highlight, and they look at the entire clip and video to see where he's coming from. Because Swerve did have experience. So if he feels like he was wronged in that, or he feels like he was let go on the back of somebody else's mistakes, he has very much every right to feel slighted. And at the same time, it was a gift at the same time, because look where he's at. Pretty much probably one of the guys in AEW. A couple quick stories, because we got to let Courtney get a little bit of refresher before the AEW Dynamite watch along. House of Glory has not moved, but they're opening up a wrestling academy in Orlando, similar to their New York location. Pretty cool stuff for House of Glory. If you just saw, they're actually bringing a lot of stars to the show. I know Konosuke Takeshita will be there April 25th, along with Trevor Lee, formerly known as Cameron Grimes. Cedric Alexander will be there soon as well. House of Glory is doing a lot of big things. Any thoughts on the academy opening up in the Orlando area? Keep in mind, what else is in Orlando? NXT.
Yep.
I like the expansion. I like it. Oh, man. I like hog wrestling, man. They be doing their thing, man. And just knowing that they getting bigger and being able to open up stuff like that. Hey, bravo to y'all, man. Keep doing y'all thing because I love their graphics too. So shout out to y'all.
Yeah, I get so excited anytime independent wrestling like this. It makes me very, very excited, and opening another opportunity in Orlando, where, of course, as you mentioned, home of NXT, but also just the upcoming matches. And also so many stars have been from House of Glory. Daniel Garcia, Private Party, also trained by the Amazing Red. If you have not watched his matches, he was on TNA from back in the day. But this is a really good opportunity, and I just love seeing stuff like this.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good expansion. And I'm looking forward to see the rest of what they do, especially with some of these superstars that you guys all know appearing on House of Glory in the next few months. Last story I want to highlight of the day. This makes me feel so old. 24 years ago today, this moment happened when Shane McMahon showed up on the last episode of WCW Nitro, showing that he purchased the company. I remember exactly where I was when this happened and how shocking it was to see this on TV. This was cinema before we got the clip from Roman Reigns. Do you guys remember this moment, and how do you feel everything turned out in lieu of this moment? I just remember being so shocked seeing both feeds on each other's screens.
Yeah, I'm about to show my age, man. Yo, picture in picture was a thing back then, and please believe I was. And then that previous
flipping back and forth.
Yeah, it's on 25. It's on 42. Yo, it's on both of them. What's going on? I'm like, oh shit. Yo, that was whoo, bro. I remember when that happened, and I was like, Nitro is on USA right now. Like Monday Night Nitro. It say the TNT logo on USA. That was an insane time. Too bad it take slightly after.
Yeah. Courtney, what do you remember from this moment?
God, I don't want to make anyone feel old, and I didn't even get into wrestling till like a year later. But I did see a clip of it because they were showing it on Raw's 10th anniversary show, and they were showing this clip and the reaction for it. And I remember I was like, man, and it sucked I didn't watch it in present time, but just watching that clip, Vince's reaction, Shane saying, I own WCW, I was just like, whoa, that was insane. That was definitely a Raw moment.
Yeah, this was pure television right now after the Monday Night Wars. Just very shocking moment. And now you can actually relive all these moments on the WCW YouTube channel that WWE just unlocked a few weeks back. But great stuff all around. Well, we got about 25 minutes until the AEW watch along with Dynamite starts with Stone Cold Courtney Rice. We're going to get up out of here, give her a little bit of break. Courtney, can you let the good people know how they can support and find you?
They can always find me over at Tony Khan Needs to Do Better at Women's Wrestling. I'm just going to keep saying it until somebody from AEW listens. Just do better with women's wrestling. But in all seriousness, they can always see me here at the top of the hour. I'm doing my watch on for AEW Dynamite. They're going to be in St. Paul, Minnesota tonight and continuing their road to Dynasty next month. You can also follow me on all my social channels on @CourtneyNJ11, where there is content happening. There is content TBD regarding Queen of the Ring soon, and also a lot of stuff happening in the coming weeks.
Perfect. Councilman, how can the people support and find you?
Man, you can always just support me at Will Farrell, PHARAOH. Just remember, Tony Khan does not like women's wrestling. And you will have a tremendous day. And then tune in this weekend where we will be having a watch along. We're going to watch all 63 days of Julia's title reign.
Oh my God.
Yes, we're going to go through all the highlights and the time she was there and the majority of times that she was not there. But it's going to be 63 hours of a 63-day run that is just going to be incredible. And I cannot wait for y'all to tune in.
I can't wait to see all the social media posts and backstage clips of her walking from the parking lot, from the airport to the car, just riveting stuff. You don't want to miss it.
Woo!
You got her We got her eating meals and catering. We got the portions where she heat up the food and take the first bite. It's amazing stuff, guys. You don't want to miss that.
So great. So great. Photo shoots, man. Just incredible. The incredible photo shoots holding the title that she only defends twice. I mean, but it is riveting stuff, guys. Y'all are this.
And I guess I will be found today. I know Honey asked why I am wearing the bow tie today. There's no special occasion. 2 times out the month, I report the news in these streets, and I didn't feel like changing today because we were running late. But you can find me on these Twitter streets at says. On the gram, it says the answer. There is a lot of content out there for you to check out. Read some articles on wwtalkpod.com. It's still Women's History Month, so there's a few articles there you can read about the Queen of the Ring pioneers in women's wrestling. Our Saraya interview just dropped where you can see some of that. We know her name is buzzing around right now. I did want to say something about the Booker T stuff because people can have very different experiences, but to me, King Booker sucked. I didn't like that. It's very well you could have been paid handsomely all these years for being with the company, but your time as a star in the company after your WCW run was largely beneath you. They made you become a caricature with King Booker. They didn't let you win the title against Triple H. You had to watch do-rag Vince say the N-word right in front of you. You couldn't do nothing about it. You my GOAT. You bigger than that.
No, I completely understand. And to the point of saying, what was wrong with Booker's former character before that? Because there wasn't anything wrong with it. It wasn't something that needed to change. It wasn't like John Cena's prototype where it needs an overhaul. Booker T, Spinner Rooney, 5-time champ, sold and
it did. It is sold.
So I agree with them. Again, I enjoy the character. Don't get me wrong, but I do agree that I believe it was beneath you as well, and I would have been okay with "Can you dig it, sucker?"
Yep.
I just liked it when he called everybody a sucker. That's just what I loved.
Yeah. It was there, man. It was he was giving us pure hits. Like even the stuff with him and Gold Dust was great.
Yeah, man.
It was great.
Just being yourself. It's just we could have left it a little bit more Harlem Heat-ish if we really wanted to.
But again, never mind.
No, my bad. But again, I mean, people can have different experiences. But like I said, we have a lot of content coming up, more articles. I will mention this because our fearless leader isn't here. TK. Trick been looking mighty body butter-ish and oily lately. You need to run me my supply.
I also have the shirt.
Been very patient.
She hasn't picked them up yet. I also have the shirt. She has not.
I've been very patient. I need you to release the clips and give me my supply. I deserve. But until then, we'll be back in 48 hours for the next WWT Live. Make sure you catch up to what the watch along with Courtney Rice tonight. And this has been Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling platform, network, and everything else in between on the planet.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at wwtalkpod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at wwtalkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.